How do you fire someone and tell them they can't leave? I mean, physically can't leave the building at the same time. That's a real thing I had to do, and it's why I never wanted to be in a leadership position. Being in charge means making decisions that affect people's lives. It's unavoidable. A lot of people like to use the excuse, it's just business, or it's not personal. But that's a lie. If you have authority over people, it impacts their lives, and that makes me uncomfortable. I'm Charles, and I'm a highly sensitive person and a leadership coach for HSPs, because leadership for HSPs looks different. Now, like I said, I'm a highly sensitive person, and even though I didn't know what that meant for most of my life, it's still exactly the reason why I avoided leadership roles for decades. I even owned my own business, but I never grew it beyond myself, and I told myself and everyone else that I just didn't want the hassle of employees. But the truth is that I didn't want the responsibility. I also spent 15 years bartending, and for the first 10 of those, I avoided management roles altogether. But somehow I kept ending up as a de facto leader behind every bar I worked. I always became the one person that people looked to for guidance and support, and I was always the one that fought for them. Even when I was offered promotions, I turned them down for years. It hurt my career and it cost me financially. I didn't call it fear, I called it a boundary, and I found no shortage of excuses. Like it or not, if you want to advance in your career, you're going to have to take on leadership roles at some point. Once I finally stepped into the role, I found it more rewarding than I ever expected. The best year of my life behind a bar personally and financially was when I finally accepted the role as manager. But that doesn't mean the challenges went away. Highly sensitive people carry deep empathy and have a strong sense of meaning and purpose. For us, it's not just about getting the job done. It has to be meaningful. The emotional and psychological challenge lies in balancing the goals of the business and the human cost. Like that first time I had to fire someone. I had just become the lead bartender at a struggling speakeasy. I'd only been there for a few weeks, and I could already see all the reasons why it was failing. It had a whole culture of problems. And one of those problems was staring me right in the face, literally. The other bartender was drunk, but sitting in that back room looking them in the face, all I could think about was how humiliated they felt and how this would affect their future. I might have actually felt more upset about it than they did at the time. Ethically and legally, I couldn't let them drive. Personally, I wanted to crawl into a hole and hide. That was one of the hardest nights of my bartending career, but it was something I had to do. And this is the conflict most highly sensitive people face in leadership positions, balancing the requirements of the job and their deep empathy. When I read a headline like so-and-so company lays off X percentage of workforce, I know those are real people who suddenly don't know how they're going to pay their bills or how they're going to feed their kids. That for the sake of some numbers in a ledger, real people are going to suffer. And that bothers me a lot. Now, if that sounds extreme to you, if you're the kind of person who thinks about only the bottom line and profit margins, then feel free to turn off this video right now, because I'm not the coach for you. Being highly sensitive is complex, and we don't all face the same challenges. I was a reluctant leader, but for some HSPs, reluctance isn't what's holding you back. Sometimes it's because other people just don't see the qualities that make you a good leader. Or it could be that you're burnt out from taking on too much. You're just exhausted all the time. That's why I created a quiz to help you pinpoint what your current biggest challenge is. There's a link in the description below to take the quiz yourself right now. What we do for a living affects our lives outside of work. Pretending the two are completely separate is a lie, and HSPs see right through that. We want to do good. We want to help people succeed in life, and not all situations have win-win solutions. When other people are in pain, we feel it. That's easier to bear if it's not our decision. And that's one reason some of us are reluctant leaders, like I was. By reluctant, I mean we are leaders in all but name. We already fill that role and we do it capably, but we resist the responsibility and accountability that comes from formalizing it. Avoiding leadership roles caused my career to stagnate. And I see other HSPs in the same situation, making excuses, feeling stuck, jumping from job to job, and hoping it will be better somewhere else. I had to put myself through a process that clarified what was important to me. So I wasn't just going by my gut feeling anymore. I understood what it was telling me and what to do about it. That's when my career began to advance, because the same traits that make some HSPs avoid leadership also make them highly effective and influential leaders. Having empathy means you care about people, and good leaders care about their people and they fight for them. In business, that means both your team and your customers. You don't see them as obstacles to your profits. You see them as partners in your collective success. For HSPs, that isn't a cliche from a self-help book. It's actually how we see the world. I helped turn that bar around. It became profitable. My staff made more money than they'd ever made before. The owners profited. The guests loved us. Many of my employees went on to better jobs and more success, and I supported them the whole way. It honestly became one of the best jobs I ever had. These signatures, these are for my staff after 2 of our most successful events. I still look at these to remind me of what it means to be a good leader. High sensitivity also comes with a talent for pattern recognition and creative problem solving. But to be effective, what you do and how you do it has to align with what's most important to you. That's when HSPs are at their best. So here's an exercise I teach all of my coaching clients and all of my employees. I learned it decades ago and I still use it to this day. Take a decision you're having trouble with and ask yourself, what are the important things I'm trying to decide between or balance out? What values are at stake? In business, profit or something related to profit is always part of the equation. But what else are you struggling with in that decision? Whatever the values are, write them down and make a list. Now comes the hard part. Decide which one of those values you hold highest. Rank them in order of importance to you. You have to be honest with yourself. Rank them according to your personal beliefs, not how anyone else, even your boss or partner, would rank them. You have to be ruthlessly honest in defining what you hold most important in life, not just this decision. This can be tough. Sometimes it means admitting you aren't who you want to be, or that you don't hold the same values as your family and friends. But you have to be brutally honest here. Whatever you place at the top of the list is your guiding principle, and your decision must fulfill it. If you can include other high values, that's even better, but your number one value must be fulfilled. This is a tough exercise, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes and the clearer all your decisions become. I'm not saying acting on those choices will be easy. This process can lead to some hard actions, like quitting a job or firing someone. I've done both of those after this process. The fact is, people choose to follow people they trust and respect. And both those traits are earned by being consistent with your personal values, what you hold true, what you believe. This process instills that in you. If you understand that struggle and you want to learn how to balance that with the kind of leader who looks out for both the business and your people, then I can help you with that. There's a link in the description below to book a call with me. We can discuss what coaching looks like and see if it could benefit you. There's no pressure, just an honest discussion. So there's a link below. Being highly sensitive can be exhausting. It doesn't always look the way you expect it to, and it doesn't always come from being overworked. I made this video to help explain how our jobs drain us. And if you aren't careful, that can be you. So watch this video next, and I'll see you in that one. Peace.